It's been a while. Let's chat. Y'all owe Lee Hazard over at Strong and Conditioned thanks for this one, because he's been hounding me to make a video for a while now. And I finally found myself with a little bit of time and a situation where instead of spending that time getting in a workout, I thought I'd do a little talking. And I have no plan, so here we are. And the fact that I'm not working out is kind of testament to what I want to talk about. Those of you who are diligent readers of mine have noted that I've stopped talking about getting bigger and stronger and started referencing physical transformation. Because ultimately that's what this is. It's about becoming something that you are not. It's about taking your physical self and transforming it. And sometimes that outcome can be getting bigger and stronger. But sometimes it can become better conditioned, leaner, simply different. And the process of that transformation is an uncomfortable process. The body does not want to transform. The body likes homeostasis. The body likes staying the same. And it will fight to do whatever it can to stay the same. Which means the process of transformation is fighting your own body to make it do what it does not want to do. And it'll mean engaging in things that are not comfortable. When you look around you, you see the product of being comfortable. The majority of humans you interact with live comfortable existences. We get to observe the outcome of consistent comfort. Frankly, I don't think it's a good outcome. It's not what I want. So I seek discomfort. And I seek it because of its transformative properties. Having that as our baseline, we move on. Training drives all decisions. Training drives all actions. Training drives all choices. This seems obvious, but people screw it up all the time. People always do things backwards. Training becomes the afterthought. When you conduct yourself in that manner, you do not achieve the results you want. The outcome of placing training last is the outcome of comfort. What do I mean by this? I am constantly dealing with questions about physical transformation, and usually involves either gaining muscle or losing fat. Gaining muscle is a product of putting the body in a situation where it decides that the only way it can continue surviving is by adding muscle. Muscle is an undesirable tissue for the body to have. Muscle is metabolically demanding to create. It takes a lot of energy and effort to make more muscle. It takes energy to keep muscle once it is built. As far as the body is concerned, it is excess. It does not want it. So you have to convince the body that it needs this muscle or else it will die. The way we do that is by subjecting the body to a stimulus that is very close to dying. We train almost to the point of killing ourselves so that the body says, holy crap, I need muscle. If I'm going to keep doing this, I need muscle and I need to make it fast. Then we give the body food because tissue is made out of food. Without the food, muscle cannot be made. Without the training, the food does not get made into muscle. Once again, look around you. You see a world that is eating in a caloric surplus and not training. What is the outcome? Obesity. But if you train really hard and nearly break yourself, and then feed yourself to recover from the training, the outcome is greater muscle. Which leads me to another thing I love to talk about. I don't count calories. I don't count macronutrients. I don't like to do that. That's not a lifestyle I want to live. And truth is because I know me, and I know that I would become obsessive as soon as I started doing it. And I would want the absolute best calorie count, the best macros. It would eat at me. And so I just plain avoid it. So what do? I eat to recover from the very hard training that I'm doing. And whenever I say that, people ask me, what does that mean? And I respond that you asking that question means you have never trained hard. And that hurts a lot of feelings, but it's the absolute truth. Anyone who has ever trained hard knows what it is like when they are not recovered. Anyone who has ever done two-a-days in football practice in high school in 100-degree heat with a coach that told them water makes you weak knows what it's like when you are not recovered. Anyone that has ever wrestled and gone a full season 2 weight classes below what their actual natural weight should be and has cut weight for every single meet knows what it's like to be unrecovered. Many new parents know what it's like to be unrecovered. Many people that have gone through military selection know what it's like to be unrecovered. The people that don't know what it's like have been living a life of comfort. They have been comfort seeking. They have always been recovered. They have most likely been over-recovered. They have eaten more food than they needed and not trained hard, and they have more than enough recovery going through their body. To these people I say, try to be unrecovered sometime. Try to actually find these limits, because as soon as you do, you will know what it feels like. It'd be like me trying to explain what it feels like to have the flu. I can use a lot of words, I can come close to capturing it, but if you've never had it, you will not know what it's like. But if you have had it and I say I have the flu, you know exactly what it's like. This is why I'm doing a video today and not using these 15 minutes to work out. I squatted 405 pounds for 20 reps yesterday, following super squats. It was a breathing squat style. I have 2 more workouts left in that program, and then I'll complete 6 weeks of it. My body is broken. I have never felt stronger and more disabled than I have at this very moment in time. Everything is barely holding on, and there is not enough food or caffeine in the world to keep me going. The idea of using these 15 minutes for another workout is unfathomable to me. I am barely recovering from this training. In turn, it is transforming me. That is why the original creator of Super Squats promoted a gallon of milk a day to get through the program. And anyone who reads the book and reads that line and has never trained hard laughs and scoffs and mocks and brings up studies and scientific facts and explains exactly why a gallon of milk a day is a terrible idea. And anyone who's ever followed the program says that a gallon of milk a day is genius. That's the smartest thing you could possibly do when training that hard, is to get in that much food. Let's talk fat loss for a little bit, because again, people freak out at the idea of eating too much food because they think they're going to put on fat. For one, if you are training really hard, it will be very difficult to eat enough to put on fat, assuming you are eating decent human food. If it comes in a box, if it can stay in your pantry for multiple months and not expire, it's probably not good to eat. If you have to hunt it or grow it, it's probably good to eat. Yes, there are caveats. Please don't be stupid. But I digress, and that's fine. It's my video. I get to make a rant. But let's say somehow, some way, you did put on fat in the process of physical transformation. That's part of the uncomfortable process of physical transformation. We don't always look our best while transforming. But congratulations, you ate enough food to recover from your very hard training. That can be difficult. So now what? Now we lose fat. Well, guess what? An uncomfortable process. It's transforming the body. The body likes homeostasis. It wants to keep that fat. It likes fat. Fat is nice if we're ever stranded in a dire situation and need energy reserves. the body wants to hold on to that fat. To the point that if given the choice, the body will probably try to shed all that excess muscle it doesn't think it needs and will keep the fat as much as it can. So what do? Training drives everything. Before we were training very hard to convince the body it needs to make muscle. Now we're still going to train hard to convince the body it needs to keep that muscle. But we can't train to the excessive amount of volume that we were doing before to promote muscular growth. So we up the intensity, we lift heavier and less volume, and during this time we don't need nearly as much food as we did when we were growing muscle. Now all we're doing is just trying to keep it while we shed some excess fat. This is a natural process, to the point that I don't ever endeavor to lose fat when fat loss occurs. Once again, you can tell who has trained hard and who has not based off the questions they ask. People ask, how long can I gain weight for? I always say, I do it until I can't. And again, if all you've been doing is 3 sets of 5 and then mainlining Taco Bell, yeah, it seems like you can do that forever. But if you are breaking yourself in training and can barely eat enough to keep up with the demand of your training, you are counting down the days until you are done. I have 2 more super squats workouts left. That will complete 6 weeks of hard training, and then I will be done and I will take a break. And during that break, I will not need to eat nearly as much food because I will not be training nearly as hard. Any fluff I've accumulated will go away because I'm not eating that much. It's that simple. Training drives all decisions. Training drives all actions. We train really hard. It makes us eat more food so that we recover from that training. That creates muscle. Eventually, we cannot do that anymore. It is unsustainable. When we downshift, we train less hard, training weights go up, body weight goes down, because food goes down. That's all there is to it. Genuinely, that's all there is to it. If there's more requests, if there's more topics you'd like me to cover, I can go into it.